And by now to be there are over at least 74 players in 19 teams in the lobby, and we are going with that very short in game. And by the time for the team, GG, Slayer, Mr. Lady, and Sikari and Demon will be the very firmly standing. And by the time, okay, they have already dropped in this very short in location. Each and every teams are trying their level best. Okay, स्वागत छ सबैजनालाई एज तपाईँहरूलाई फेरि पनि स्वागत छ, नट जस्ट स्वागत, फेरि पनि स्वागत छ, दुईचोटि स्वागत मन्तव्य राखिसकेको छु. एन्ड देन आफ्टर द्याट जोनले चाहिँ हल्का मजाक गरेको छ, बट नेभर माइन्ड. एन्ड अहिलेको अवस्थामा 2 मिनटको समय अन्तराल रहेको छ. थोरै बेसी ग्लाइड गरेर यतापट्टि हाम्रो एरिया पोचुङ्गीको तर्फमा जानलाई रेडी रहनुपर्ने कुरा रहेको छ. एन्ड by now to be they have already dropped in this very certain drop location. And यतापट्टि सोकल MMG वाला टिम छ, उनीहरूलाई पनि टिम नन ट्याग भन्दा चाहिँ फरक नपर्ला, as I got to know about that in this very present scenario. And अहिलेको अवस्थामा and by the time for the team LV, Hukang is here, as by now do they has to go for it. And okay, one of the player has already been knocked out for this very short in team. नराम्रो कुरा त्यो भने किनभने उनी नक भइरहेका छन्, त्यसैले गर्दा एउटा नराम्रो पार्ट अफ द गेम हुनु जान्छ. And by now to be MMG Satikute already got knocked out. By the time the healing process need to be done in this very present scenario, that will be the very thing to just look after it. And they are getting ready in this very present situation. Player knocked out रहेका छन्, 73 को overall players को साथमा they need to go by the time, so that the healing process need to be done on time. And for this very team only 30 भन्दा पनि अब लेस देन 40 सेकेन्डको समय अन्तराल बाँकी रहेको छ. एन्ड by the time they are just managing out in this very manner. That was the very fine shot. That was a nice shot, to be very honest. Players are getting down by the time, and they has to go for the very fine game, and they are trying their level best to make this game in their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it. And for now to be one of the players who called has already got taken down. By now to be how they gonna manage out, how they gonna figure out in this very present scenario, that will also be the thing to just look after it and talk about for this very team. I'm hoping for their level base. Last base standing for this very team will be our Hugo, and as he is going for that very shots, but on team player body नै कन्सियस हुनुपर्छ. बट एउटा प्लेयरलाई नक आउट दिएर अर्को प्लेयरलाई पनि केही हदसम्म ड्यामेज प्रेसर गराउन सफल रहनु भएको थियो. बट द्याट डजन्ट जस्ट म्याटर मच, त्यस्तो विधि म्याटर मच गरिदिएन त्यसले. एन्ड as by now to be with the very vehicle approach पनि उनीहरू मुभ इन गर्नुपर्ने कुरा रहेको छ. and by the very present situative manner, only 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in this very present scenario. भिल्ला अथवा भिल्ला वाला टिम्सको लागि भनेर पनि रहेका छन् ओभरअली 3 मिनट स्ट्यान्डिङ यो टिम्सको लागि भनेर. एन्ड एउटा प्लेयर एब्सेन्ट रहेका रहेछन् फर देम टु बी, सो इट इज नट द्याट ग्रुप. या मेरो कन्भर्सेसन सक्यो, प्लिज स्टार्ट अ न्यू कन्भर्सेसन. या रचना या लेट्स गो विथ द्याट. मेरो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कन्भर्सेसन सक्यो. अब यु निड टु स्टार्ट, सिन्स एउटा हातले ताली बज्दैन, सो यु निड टु मेक इट आउट एज अ टु डिफ्रेन्ट हार्ट टु मेक आउट अ ताली. And for now to be, we have overly 69 players in 18 teams by now to be, and only 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team Magnus. Dota, Sasuri, then after that, Beast and Birbus will be the very foreman standing for this very present team, and they are trying their level best to get their game done in this very present situation. And by the time Dugu player has already got taken down at on this certain area, player not just knocked out but finished as well. Last one standing is here by the time. And how will they go for it? And that will be the very thing to just look after it. Only 68 players and 18 teams are over here by the time. They are still holding up this situation in this very present scenario. 68 players and 18 teams are over here. And by now to be one of the players who called Ninja Birds. मेरो आवाज त्यस्तो राम्रो छ र. Oh my god, don't get obsessed with my voice. And 1 minute and 18 seconds left in this very present scenario. And for this very team, overly 3 men are over early here, and one of the player already got knocked and finished by the time. And only 2 minutes left in this very present scenario. For the team G and Tenzit already got knocked and finished, so bad. That was not a great thing. For the team T, they have managed out 3 frag, whereas one player already got knocked out. For this very team, who have been converted into 17 teams, and 66 player by now to be Nopatauri. Oh my god, is it my voice? Okay, the voice that bad? जुन सुन्नु पनि सक्दैन तपाई कानले. And only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present situation to just look after it. And only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present scenario. One ring for the team यहाँ knocked out रहनुहुन्छ, क्रिस रहनुहुन्छ यतापट्टिबाट हाम्रो सोयम को साथमा क्रिस नक्ड एन्ड फिनिश, सोयम पनि नक्ड एन्ड फिनिश वार्लिन रहनुहुन्थ्यो त्यो एरियामा. एन्ड राम्रो फाइट भइसकेको छ फर द्याट भेरी सर्टेन टिम. And by now to be the healing process need to be started by the time. KI को लागि भनेर players are getting down. They have already managed out 2 frag for their team. And by the time they need to go straight forward. For the team RSX, players are being placed as or has already been down by the time. Only 50 seconds left in this very present scenario. And by now to be only 44 seconds left in this very present scenario. This will be the very stage 1, and so we need to go for the very another stage of the zone, which will be stage 2 for sure to be. And only 34 seconds left in this very present scenario, and Haber has to go for that very fighting scenario situation to just be. And सुरु गर न random कुरा गरे गफ निस्किने हो के. And only 19 seconds left in this very present situation manner. For the team TGF, overly 3 players are stand by over here, and they are just definitely trying their level best to get this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it, and I'm definitely hoping for their level best. And they need to get engaged in the very fight, but haven't gone for it. They have the very vehicle approaches by the time. And by now to be only 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in this very present scenario. For the team Villa, only 3 men are over here, and this was the very shots, but player has not just got knocked out by the time. It is not that fine situation, trying to go for the very shots, but haven't gone by now. And only 61 players and 16 teams are available here by the time. And the players are definitely trying their level best to make this game on their own side. And 60 players are over here with that very 16 teams, to be very honest, by the time. As now to be talk about, and the Villa Yapi type is over here. And then after that, and we have overly and by now to be only 1 minute and 15 seconds left in this very present scenario. Overly and only 1 minute and 35 seconds left in this very present scenario, and only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present situation to just try now. And only 1 minute and 13 seconds left in this very present scenario. For the team, Mr. Lady already got knocked out by the time. This is really not good thing to just talk about it. And the Haber has to get down by the time. Only 1 minute left in this very present situation. This is the very stage 2, so we need to go for the very another stage of the zone by the time. And only 53 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team Villa. Only 3 players are available here by the time, and they are trying their level best to make this game in their own side. The shots को लागि जानुहुन्छ के हदसम्म shots corner पनि हुन्छ. 60 players are over here with that very 16 teams by the time, and only 25 seconds left in this very present scenario, and Haber has to go for the very another stage of the zone, and they are definitely trying to make this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it, and I am just hoping for their level best. And players are getting down for the team GG. Player are also getting down. Magnus को लागि भनेर दुईटा player knocked out, so that last round standing यहाँ रहनु भएको छ. They have already managed out first frag only, but the recovery phase need to be done on time. That will be the very thing to just get conscious about. Yeah, TFS serum no, Magnus will be on top. Yeah, I hope so. I'm also hoping that same. And for the team Magnus, the recovery phase need to be done on time. राम्रो अथवा सही समयमा यतापट्टि समयको सदुपयोग गरेर उनीहरूले समयमा नै यतापट्टि recovery phase complete गर्न सफल रहन्छन् भने चाहिँ that will be a very fine thing. And by now to be 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just look after it. And okay, and by now to be only 1 minute and 19 seconds left in this very present situation, and by the time overall 4 minutes standing are over here for the team TE. Players are over here. 3 players are available where one of the player has got knocked and finished by the time, so it is not that fine thing to just talk about. गाडी के भाइब्रेटी रहेको छ, यो के हो यो गाडीको नाम नै एक्ज्याक्टली मलाई थाहा छैन, बट पानीमा जमिनमा दुबईमा चल्नेवाला गाडी हो यो, as I got to know about that. And by the time only 34 seconds left in this very present scenario. This is the very stage 2, so we are going for the another stage of the zone. अनि Magnus को लागि भनेर ओभरली 4 minutes स्ट्यान्ड बाई हुनु भएको छ. एज नक्ड आउट रहेको दुईटा प्लेयरलाई भनेर पनि जोगाइसकेको छ अथवा रिकभर गरिएको छ on the right time, so it is a very fine fact that to talk about it. And they are getting straightforward by the time, and the team Magnus has already got knocked out by the time, and Mr. Lady already got knocked out in this very present scenario. Let's go to the team so-called Magnus over here, whereas our Sasuri just got knocked out, but Beast has managed out 2 frag for his team, which is a really great fact to just talk about it. And only 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team TWD. They have already managed out 2 frag for their team. As now to be talking about overall 52 players, okay, no 52, but we have been converted into 51 players and 15 teams by the time. Only 1 minute and 50 seconds left in this very present scenario. Vaiso Sanimale maruncha, and only 1 minute and by now to be only 15 teams and 51 player over early available in this very present situative manner for the team KIA. Last already got knocked out by the time, and for the team only 3 minutes standing, whereas one of the player already got knocked and finished by the time. Overall they have managed out 5 frag by now to be, and Magnus Toda just managed out that healing up process by now to be, and 14 player and 14 teams over here by the time, and they are getting ready, and Haber has to go for it. Only 49 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just talk about it, and the Haber has to go for the very fights, but haven't gone by now. Only 39 seconds left in this very present scenario, and they are getting ready by now to be, but haven't gone for the very fight. And by the time this is the very stage third, So we need to go for the very another stage of the zone for the team doors. Overally 3 players are available by the time, whereas one of the player, a so-called Chinese player, has got knocked and finished already. So it is not that fine. And for the team RSX, no Tufan OP already got knocked out in this very present situative manner. Players are getting down. For the team NSK, Vampire also got down in this very present scenario. And there are availability of the very 3 players. They have already managed out 2 frag for their team, but Vampire has winning finish as a, yeah, I was right, he already got knocked and finished. That was not that much fine thing to just talk about it, and that will be the very thing to just look after by now. And only they are overally getting ready by now to be. And as by now to be, IME Zifu is over here, and and by now to be, we have overly 46 players and 14 teams by the time. Wait. Okay, by the time, overally 43 players and 14 teams are over here, and by the time they need to get moving. For the teams, players are getting down in this very present scenario. 182 women standing are over here by the time, so that the healing process need to be done on time. For the team DOTS, yeah, 3 players are available, whereas one of the player already got knocked and finished by the time, which is not that great. For the team NSK, Lucifer already got knocked out. And as by now, for the team TFS Lala and news. And by now to be, only Doom is standing over here. Players are getting down now to be, and by now to be, players are getting down in this very present situated manner to just by now. And okay, for the team, Suras also got knocked and finished by the time, and by now to be only 20 seconds left in this very present scenario, and by now to be, we have over 25 players and 11 teams by the time, and we are getting step forward by now to be only. by now to be for the team Cabby, players are getting down. We have overly 8 teams and 19 teams in this 19 players in this very situative manner to just talk about that. And for now to be Magnus Tota already got knocked out. There are overly 19 teams and 19 player and 8 teams by now to be. And by now to be. And for the team Magnus, and only 22 seconds left in this very present scenario. We have overly 6 teams and 16 players available by the time they need to be get ready for that very present scenario. The healing of action need to get started by the time, and the healing of process has already been started by the times, and how they're gonna go for that certain thing, that will also be the very thing to just look after it. This is the stage 5, so we need to go for the very end of the stage by the time. For the team TWD, only 3 players standing. One of the player already got knocked and finished by the team, but they have already managed out double digit kill points by now to be, which is 14 in number, and they are still getting ready for that certain thing, and they have the very vehicle ability, so they will go with that very certain flow. And only 12 seconds left in this very present scenario. For the team Georgia's, 3 player already got knocked and finished on Sky. Then after that Tracker, Honor Ash will be the very 3 women standing for the team to get exited by now to be. Oman will be the very last player to just be over here. For the team DOTS, 3 men are over here or in here, and they are trying to go with that very short and short. Only 1 minute and 12 seconds left in this very present scenario, and by the time only 1 minute and 6 seconds left in this very. And only 12 players and 5 teams are available by the time. Only 15 seconds left in this very present situated manner to just look after it, and players are getting, and only 40 seconds left in this very present scenario. And by the time we have overly 3 teams with that very 9 players, and that was the very short, and we have overly 3 players, and okay, players are getting down. We have overly 8 players and 3 teams by the very short time. They are trying to go with that very short and shots, but haven't managed out successfully by the time, and this was the very shorts. Only 3 teams are over here, and by the time the very healing up process has already been started by the time, and I am hoping for their level best in this very present situative concept to just look after it. That was the very short, and did we get knocked? But no, sadly. But Villa is getting some level of fine shots by now to be. Only 42 seconds left in this very present scenario. For the team DOTS, 3 players are over early here, and for the team Villa as well, there are overly 3 men by the time. And for the team Villa, they have already managed out 11 frags, which is double digit by now to be. So it is a really a very fine factor to just talk about it. And by now to be, only 22 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the Haber has to go for the very fight by the time. Only 15 seconds left in this very present situative manner. For the team Villa player, one of the player already got knocked out, So they have to manage out 3v2 by now. They're getting up. One of the player knocked and finished for this team. That was knocked on the top bracket to shoot the shot, but sadly our second player also got knocked out. Last player is over here, and he need to manage out this game. अब उहाँले manage out गर्नुपर्छ. This was a very short. Last player लाई tackle out गरेर second winner goes to the team. Yes guys, none other than DOT as the chicken लानुहुन्छ with that very 5 frag. Nice one. पहिलो गेम सकिएको छ, अझै पनि 3टा गेम बाँकी छ. So be ready for those of the game. And अहिलेको लागि बिदा माग्नु पर्छ. I hope I will meet you at not just hope, I will meet you at the next game. त्यतिखेरसम्मको लागि bye bye, टाटा. Yeah guys, bye bye. And by now to be, yes guys, दोस्रो गेम चालु भइसकेको छ. We have overally 76 players and 19 teams by the time. अनि सबैजना आफ्नो ड्रप वाइज जाँदै हुनुहुन्छ. And yeah, they are definitely trying their level best to make this game in their own side. त्यही रहनेवाला छ उनीहरूको ट्राई हार्डवाला कार्यक्रम. And by the time they need to move, and I am hoping for their level best. अनि यतापट्टि लुटपाटवाला कार्यक्रम चालु रहेको छ. फेरि पनि जोनले चाहिँ जिस्काइसकेको छ यतापट्टि टिम्सहरूलाई. सो उनीहरू जानुपर्ने कुरा रहेको छ. अहिलेको अवस्थामा वी हेभ 76 प्लेयर्स एन्ड 19 टिम्स. नानी सुपर लकी फर मी. त्यही भएर जहाँ पनि मेरो फोनको वालपेपरमा पनि त्यसको फोटो छ. अनि इन्स्टामा त्यसको फोटो डाइरेक्टली राख्न मिलेन. त्यही भएर त्यसले बनाएको फोटो केबी ओली बाजेको राखिदिएको. एन्ड only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left by the time for the team NSK. Irsik, Susara, then after that Lucifer and Vampire will be the very formally standing for this very certain team. And they need to get straightforward by now to be. And okay, for the team, players are getting down in this very present scenario. For the team PFS, players are getting down. And by now to be overall 74 player and 19 teams are over here for the team Killer in action. And by now to be only 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this very present scenario. And by now to be only 1 minute and 14 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the Haver has to go for it. Only 1 minute and 8 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just talk about. And only about only 1 minute go समय अंतराल बाकी रहेको छ for the team TWD as well. Overly 4 minutes standing. We're over here for this very team. They haven't managed out kills by now, but they will gonna definitely try their level best to get this game in their own side. For the team, Magnus Biss already knocked out one of the player by the time. And 73 players are over here by now to be with that with 19 teams to just talk about. For the team RSX को लागि भन्दा पनि player knocked out हुँदै हुनुहुन्छ by now to be. And by now to be only 20 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team TOGS. And okay, TOGS Fragger already got knocked out. Honor and On Sky will be the very 2 minutes standing for this very short team. Wait guys, where the hell was my Air Force? By the teams, how they gonna manage out this very short game, that will be the very thing to just look after it. And for the team TFS, players are getting down by now to be. And okay, we have overly 64 players and 19 teams by the time. And for the today already got taken down. For the team TFT as well, players are getting down in this very present situative concept to just talk about. We have 60 player and 19 teams by the time, and players are getting knocked and finished in different situative area to just talk about, which is really not fine things. And by the time, I'm hoping for their level base. Players are getting down in this very present scenario. Wait guys, by now to be they has to go for that very short, but haven't gone for it. Okay, that goes the shorts, and that was a fine try, but couldn't able to manage that one knock. But they are trying their level best to make this team on their own side. Aligo Avastana, I hope I'm audible or finally audible by now to be, and this is the very stage one. So we need to go for the very another stage of the game by now, and the teams are getting ready for the very region situated manner to just look after it, and then if you go, oh, that goes the shots, but couldn't able to manage that one knock by now to be, but they are trying their level best, and Haber has to go for it, and by the time we have 49 players and 15 teams available in this very certain area, and they are trying to make this game in their own side, that will be the very thing to just talk about by now to be, and that will be the very thing to just look after it, and players are getting down. We have overally 15 teams by now to be. With that very 15 teams, we are getting straight forward by now to be, which is a really good thing to just talk about that certain fact. And by now to be, only, yeah, less than 5 seconds left in this very present scenario, and we have to go for the very another stage of the zone. It will be our stage two by now to be, and let's see how they're gonna manage out, how they're gonna figure out this game in this very present scenario. That will also be the very thing to just look up to it. And overall, 47 players are available by the time, and by now to be, this is the very stage one, and we have to go for the very another stage two by the time, and by now to be the very, yeah, 10 days of this has already been started. For the team T, they have managed a proof frag, but all of that certain proof frag has been contributed by our single player circle to plead by now to be, and they have has to go with that very vehicle, and they are getting moved by now to be, and why not do it? They are over here and they haven't has to go for that very certain thing. They are going with that very vehicle approach by now to be, and they are trying their level best to make this game in their own side, to be very honest. Yeah, and by the time we have overly 47 players and 14 teams in this very present situated manner to just talk about, and okay, for now to be. Let's talk about the team circle NSK. Foreman is standing at over here. He's synced in after that. So Sara, Lucifer, and Vampire will be the very Foreman is standing to just go over the very straight area. And yeah, 47 players are available by the time they're getting moved by now to be. Let's talk about this certain team circle. He has HP or something like that. Yeah, for, not HP, but for the team Jian overly Foreman is standing, but they haven't get engaged in any of the fights, so that उहाँहरूसँग कुनै पनि क्याजुअलिटी अथवा उहाँले कुनै पनि क्याजुअलिटी फेस गर्नु परेको छैन, अनि इन एडिसन उहाँले फ्र्याग पनि पाउनु भएको छैन, जुन राम्रो कुरा होइन फ्र्यागमा पाउने कुरा त होइन, बट निश्चित कसरी म्यानेज अप गर्नु रहेछ त अहिलेको कन्टेक्समा. only 2 minutes left in this very freezing scenario to just talk about it, and Haber has to move with that very vehicle. That will be the very thing to just look after it, and for that certain reason, rapidly 1 minute and 45 seconds को मतलब time period बाकी रहेको रहेछ. And अहिलेको अवस्थामा दापर्टी टिम आइएलाई भन्दा पनि हुन पाएको छ. टिम आइएको लागि भनेर दापर्टी बिएमडब्ल्यू आई सिक्रेट नामक प्लेयर हुनुहुन्छ, एन्ड उहाँले चाहिँ किन कानु भएको रहेछ. टिम द प्लेयर आर हियर विदाउट एनी अफ द किल्स बाई द टाइम, सो एउटा अनफाइन कुरा यिनीहरूको निम्ति बने औला अथवा बने जाला. उहाँले 13 सेकेन्ड लेफ्ट इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्ट सिचुएटिभ इरा टु जस्ट टक अबाउट द्याट सर्टेन थिङ, एन्ड यतापट्टि सर्टेनली गाडीलाई रिफिल अप गराउँदै हुनुहुन्छ ओके क्लोजबाट मुभिङ गर्नलाई भन्दा पनि ट्राई गर्नुहुनेवाला छ कि भनेर सोचिरहेको छु. आई विल दे गो फर इट. And by now the week we have overall 45 players and 13 teams by the time, and they are trying to go with that very certain vehicle approach. That will be the very thing to just look after it, and by the time I will they manage this game, that will also be the very thing to just look after 8 by the time, and they're getting in that very offside area. And overall, 45 players and 13 teams are over here to just talk about. And only 17 seconds left in this very present manner to just talk about it. And yeah, only 10 seconds left in this very present situated concern. And we have to go for the another stage by the 2 seconds. Okay, guys, I will be just right back. Yeah, by the time we have 45 players and 13 teams, so article argument of 45 overall players to supply they need to get moving. And if you context में आप पढ़ी गाड़ी है जो बार भी रॉय को रही है and almost 59 seconds मतलब time period बाकी रॉय से stage 2 रॉय से stage 2 बड़ी start को मिलती बंदा बनी we need to get moving by that certain time. And how will they go for it, that will also be the very thing to just look after it. And by the time for the team GG, Itari is getting down right now for me. This will be a very fine thing to just talk about it. And I'm looking for their level west. And only 20 seconds left in the spirit vision scenario. So we are getting ready for the very fight for the spirit team. They haven't get any of the kills. एक kill पनि निकालिरहेका छन् प्लस यतापट्टि पनि उनीहरूले क्याजुअलिटी पनि फेस आउट गरिरहेका छैनन् र सो द्याट उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ त्यस्तो नेगेटिभ पर्सपेक्टिभ भन्ने कुरै गर्नु नै परिरहेको छैन. सो इट इज फाइन बाई द टाइम एन्ड 1 सेकेन्डको टाइम पिरियड बाँकी रहेको छ. एन्ड यतापट्टि सर्ट सर्टको सुरुमा जानलाई उनीहरू रेडी रहे तापनि हेभन गोन बाई नाउ. एन्ड and and only 49 seconds left in this very present scenario. And जुन सानो सानो बनिरहेको छ. And the vantage applying process has already been started for this very team. 41 overall players, so suddenly they are getting moved. 137 seconds left in this very present very concept to just look after it. And by the time only 30 seconds left. And okay, जुन एकदम कोलाइड वाला बनिरहेको छ अहिलेको सिचुएसनमा, which was not that much fine thing to just look after it. And Albert has to go for the very fight, but गइसक्नु भएको छैन. Oh my god, that goes a short. But त्यसले पनि यतापट्टि सक्सेसफुली नकआउट पार्न सफल भएन माथिपट्टि रहेको प्लेयर प्रभाव भिल्लावाला टिम्स. बट लेट्स सी के हुँदो रहेछ त. एन्ड and by now to be with that very 50 players तेह्रवटा टिम बाँचिरहनुहुन्छ तर जुन भने चाहिँ एकदमै सानो बनिसकिसकेको अवस्था बारेमा देख्न पाइन्छ एन्ड दे आर जस्ट गेटिङ रेडी by now to be the situation of the team NSK भेन्फायर पनि अफर रहँदै हुनुहुन्छ एन्ड सर्ट्सहरू गइरहेको छ एकअर्काको तर्फमा एन्ड फर दिस टिम एउटा प्लेयर नक इन फिनिस आफूले एभाइलेबल गरिरहेको कन्सेप्ट रहेको छ एन्ड by the time they have has to go in that very offside wala area and 34 overall players तेह्रवटा टिमको साथमा players are getting knocked and finished by now to be the situation मा पनि and अहिलेको लागि 38 ओभरअल प्लेयर तेह्रवटा टिम्सको साथमा बसिरहेका छन् यो एरियामा सर्टेनली उनीहरू होल्ड अप गरेर एनएसके को लागि उनीहरूले सुपरै रहेका छन् अन्तिम प्लेयर किनभने सस थारा नामक प्लेयर त जसको एनएसके लिस्ट गरिदिएका छन् डट्सको प्लेयरहरूद्वारा एन्ड डट्सको टिम हेज अलरेडी म्यानेज आवर कन्ट्याक्ट जहाँ कुनै दिन त एउटा चाइनिज हो कि कोरियन नाम छ उनको एज बाई नाउ टु बी एक्ज्याक्टली मलाई थाहा छैन किनभने मलाई आउँदैन चाइनिज कोरियन बोकल त लाग्छ बट त्यस्तो देखिन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ कन्सेप्ट छ होला बट नेभर माइन्ड अहिलेको कन्टेक्समा टिडब्ल्युटीको लागि भन्दा विजार्ड पनि टेकडाउन रहँदै हुनुहुन्छ विच इज रियली नट good thing to just talk about that in fact and players are getting straightforward by now to be only 1 minute and 8 seconds in this very present scenario players हरू यता पनि भक्का भक् नकआउट पनि फेस गरिँदै छ which is a very bad fact तिनवटा प्लेयर नकआउट हुनुभएको अवस्थाको विषय सो लास्ट स्ट्यान्डिङ विल बी आवर भेला फोर्स एन्ड भेला फोर्स पनि ट्याकल आउट गरेर भिलाको टिमलाई नै यतापट्टि सर्टेनली एक्जिटवाला द्वार तर्फमा लगिदिइसकिएको चाहिँ छ विच वाज रियली नट गुड फ्याक्ट बट स्याडली यतापट्टि गोस पनि नकआउट हुनुहुन्थ्यो विजार्डको साथमा विजार्ड फिनिस कोस पनि फिनिस खाल्छ र यतापट्टि रहेका छौँ सर्ट अप डोम स्ट्यान्डिङको साथमा दे निड टु गेट मुभ इन एन्ड हिलिङ अप वाला एक्सन रन सो द्याट त्यो कामको लागि चाहिँ आइएमको लागि प्लेयरहरू पनि नकआउट भए आफैको टिमको लागि छन् अगाडिपट्टि सर्ट्सहरू प्रोभाइड हुँदै जाँदै त थियो नै बट या 28 को ओभरअल प्लेयर्स भन्दा पनि 29 को ओभरअल प्लेयर भएका रहेछन् 12वटा टिम्सको साथमा एन्ड दे आर रेडी बाई नाउ टु बी एन्ड ह्याभर हेज टु गो फर द सर्ट्स र टेक डाउन गरिदिनु हुनेवाला छ उहाँलाई सो अलि गाह्रो चाहिँ पर्दैछ एन्ड बाई नाउ टु बी हेरौँ कसरी म्यानेज गर्दो रहेछन् त 153 सेकेन्डको मात्रै समय अन्तराल बाँकी रहेको छ दे ह्याभर हेज टु गो फर द्याट भेरी सर्टेन थिङ एन्ड right now to be NSK super and this could be the shot and that was a nice knock again Ever has to go for that very finish but having a good line out and managed to the game 7 minutes जानु पर्ने कुरा रहेको छ and by now the players are getting down and Rapid Magnus collide into Rapid knocked out. First will be the very last player to just stand back over here. So revival fetch पनि आउँछ सर्ट्स आइरहेको छ स्किमको फादर काइन्ड अफ कभर क्याल्कुलेसन हुँदै भने चाहिँ छ के रे which is a really a very fine thing to just talk about and they are getting ready by now to be so that the revival process need to be done on time and the phase चालु भइसकेको छ सर्ट्सहरू चाहिँ कन्टिन्युअसली आइरहेको छ गाडी पड्किन सक्ने हालतमा आइसकेको छ भनिसकेपछि अहिलेको लागि 10वटा टिम्स बेस्ट अफ 10 मा आइसकेका छन् टप 10 मा गेम कन्भर्टेड टप 8 टिम्सले मात्रै एक पोइन्ट एज अ प्लेसमेन्ट पाउने वाला कुरा रहेको छ सो द्याट उनीहरू एउटा ध्यान दिनुपर्छ त्यो कुरामा चाहिँ एन्ड I know to be how they go for that thing so पनि ट्राई गर्दै त थिए नै and how will they able to go for that very certain region that will also be the thing to look at and they are getting in that very outside area but haven't gone for it that will be the very thing to just look after it and yeah last place standing will be our Spyam and last place standing will be that certain player and they are getting straightforward by the time and Hammer has to go for that very certain thing to look after it and just looking after them. And and by the time they are getting ready in this very present scenario, and overall they are performing their healing activities. Two of the player already got knocked and finished by now to be. And for the team MFZ, Suraj is getting knocked and finished. We have been converted into overall 8 teams and 17 players by the time, and they need to just get straightforward by the time. And I'm hoping for their level is how will they manage their game to पनि एउटा हेर्दै जानुपर्ने अवस्थाको विषय बनि आउनेवाला कुरा रहेको छ. टप 8 मा गेम कन्भर्टेड भनिसकेपछि अब जीवित रहेको एभ्री टिमले एक पोइन्ट एज अ प्लेसमेन्ट पाइसकेको छ. सो द्याट ह्यासट्याग 1 मा आउने टिम चाहिँ कुन हुँदो रहेछ त्यो द सर्टेन टिम and this goes to very shorts and आएको लागि भ्याम्पायर्स ओके पिङ आयो होइन मैले एयरपोर्ट लगाएर कास्ट गरेर चाहिँ हो होइन अब किनभने पानी रुकियो सो अब चाहिँ आउँदैन पिङ आइ सो डोन्ट गेट वरिड अबाउट द्याट एयरपोर्ट लगाउँदा चाहिँ हाई नै आउँछ कि अब म एयरपोर्ट निकाल्दियो अब हाई आउँदैन. As by now to be only 13 player and 7 teams are over here guys. Stable आइसक्यो as like you guys able to see that thing हैन त guys हैन स्टेबल आइहाल्छ. एयरपोर्ट लगाएर गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाई देखाउँछ हैन पिङ हाई. सो या त्यही रहेको छ कुरा. एन्ड वी आर ब्याक अगेन. पानीले चाहिँ थोरै तनाव दिएको थियो बट अब चाहिँ दिँदैन. 132 सेकेन्ड लेफ्ट इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्ट सिनारियो फर द टिम टिई लास्ट प्लेस स्ट्यान्डिङ यहाँ बसिरहेका छन्. एन्ड and by now to be यतापट्टि 12वटा प्लेयर रहेका छन् 7वटा टिम्सको साथसाथै. एन्ड सर्टअप पनि यही हुनुहुन्छ 12को ओभरअल प्लेयर पनि छ 7वटा टिम्सको साथमा. दे निड टु गेट मुभ इन. कल एबी पनि अलरेडी टेक डाउन रहनुहुन्छ. द्याट विल बी अ भेरी प्रिटी फिनिस एज वेल. जिजीको लागि भनेर 3वटा प्लेयर नक 10 फिनिस रहिसकेको अवस्था रहेको छ. एन्ड अहिलेको कन्टेक्समा and by now to be we have overly 3 teams and 7वटा players यहाँ रहे. And then after that only 1 minute and 8 seconds left in this very present situative concept to just look after it in this very present situative thing to just look after that certain okay thing. एन्ड यतापट्टिबाट वान रहेको सामसँग 58 सेकेन्डको मात्रै टाइम पिरियड बाँकी रहेको कुरा. एन्ड हामी दोस्रो गेमको यतापट्टि काइन्डली अन्तिम तर्फमा आइसकेका छौँ. यसपछि 2टा गेम अझै पनि बाँकी रहेको छ भनेर आज अलरेडी टक अबाउट द्याट सर्टेन फ्याक्ट. एन्ड त्यसको बारेमा चर्चा पनि गरिसकियो. सो द्याट द फर्स्ट एप्लाइङ प्रोसेस हेज अलरेडी बिगिन्स फर दिस भेरी सर्टेन टिम एन्ड दे आर ट्राइङ दे लेभल बेस्ट in this very present situative manner to just buy now. And they are just holding up in this very present situative era. माथिपट्टि अब गेट अप पनि गर्नुपर्छ. एन्ड 24 सेकेन्डकै टाइम पिरियड छ. टिम्स भनेको 3टा छ. आइए नामक टिमलाई बरु नम्बर एडभान्टेज विच इज 4 नम्बर. एन्ड 4जना प्लेयर जीवित रहेका छन्. अनि किल्सको हिसाबमा पनि उनीहरूले अलरेडी म्यानेज आउट 6 फ्र्याग. एन्ड आएको लागि भनेर जे रहनुहुन्छ द्याट विल बी द भेरी थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट. And this goes the very shots. And for the team Habert has to do that very certain thing, and that was a very fine shot but couldn't able to manage out that one knock. And they need to get moving. And by now to be only 12 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team ISA. And then after that they have already managed out yeah guys 9 frag where 2 of the player already got knocked in finish by now to be. And yeah स्मोकहरू पनि फाल्दै हुनुहुन्छ काइन्ड अफ कभर प्रिपरेसन गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ. एन्ड या त्यो प्लेयर स्वयंलाई फर द टिम याफे पनि फिनिस गराइदिइसकेको कुरा छ. सो इट इज नट द्याट फाइन, इट इज अ अनफाइन थिङ टक अबाउट. एन्ड अहिलेको लागि 1 रेनको एगेन्स्टमा पनि आइदिएको छ. उहाँ पनि सर्टेनली अब एक्जिट लिइसक्नु भएको अवस्थाको विषय रहेको छ. सो नट द्याट फाइन थिङ टु जस्ट टक अबाउट इट. एन्ड अन्तिम प्लेयरको अगेन्स्टमा नि त्यो सर्टेनली निडै जान्छ, निडको साथमा गराइदिएको छ नम्बर एन्ड 4जना प्लेयर जीवित रहेका छन् अनि and okay, finally chicken dinner has drawn by the team Sukal. They have managed out this game with that very 9 frag in this very present scenario. And yeah, okay guys, game सकेको छ दोस्रो. Top fragger has been our player Sukal Swabam for the team FA just slightly hashtag थर्डमा एक्जिट गराइदिएको थियो. एन्ड अब म भेट्छु तपाईँहरूलाई लास्ट गेममा होइन, लास्ट होइन सेकेन्ड लास्ट गेममा. त्यहाँनिरसम्मको लागि बिदा माग्न चाहन्छु. धन्यवाद. स्टे ट्युन. बाई बाई. Okay, yes guys, third game पनि start भइसक्नु भएको छ and we are here by the time and by now to be players are getting down in this very presence is very concept to just be and त्यसरी पनि चर्चा गर्न मिल्छ यहाँ and they are here and player should पनि यतापट्टिबाट टेक डाउन हुँदै हुनुहुन्छ सो अनफाइन कुरा त्यो बन्न सक्छ 19 टिम्स प्लेयरहरू बक्का बक्का एक्जिट लिँदै हुनुहुन्छ डिफ्रेन्ट एरियामा डिफ्रेन्ट फाइट फर द टिम डिएफटी पनि यतापट्टिबाट स्क्वाडै रहनु भएको रहेछ यो सर्टेन स्क्वाडको लागि भनेर एन्ड दे विल डेफिनेटली ट्राई देयर लेभल बेस्ट टु मेक दिस गेम अन देयर अन साइड एन्ड by the time they need to just go and move 69 go overall player try and by the time only 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this very present situation and they are have or has to go for that very certain thing and this goes the very short players are getting down player knocked out हुँदै हुनुहुन्छ and यो टिम ओभरअली 4 मिनट स्ट्यान्डिङको साथमा राम्रो सर्टको साथमा प्लेयरले टेकडाउन गरिन्छ अन्तिम प्लेयरको एगेन्स्टमा पनि चढ्यो ओभरअली 4 फ्र्याग चाहिँ यो टिम्सले मेक इट आउट थ्रु चाहिँ बनाइदिएको छ सो इट इज अ रियली ग्रेट थिङ टु जस्ट टक अबाउट इट एन्ड अहिलेको लागि गेम मस्त पारामा चलिरहेको छ एज इट निड टु गो एज पर एन्ड 60 को ओभरअल प्लेयर with that very 16 teams and by now to be only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present scenario and with that very 4 frag यतापट्टि निकाल्नु हुनेवाला छ and 1 kill by our player सुकाल फुङक्वाङ and उहाँले पनि यतापट्टिबाट सर्टेन किल्स पिक आउट गरेर अगाडि बढ्दै हुनुहुन्छ and they are definitely trying the level best to make this game on their own side and त्यसको लागि भने यतापट्टि कोसिस चालु रहँदैछ मिस्टर लेडी पनि नक्ड आउट अलरेडी and जिजीको लागि प्लेयर भयो एउटा प्लेयर अलरेडी नक्ड इन फिनिस अलरेडी नक्ड इन फिनिस भएका छन् माथि चढ्ने क्रिया क्लबको अवस्था चालु रहला ओन्ली 1 मिनट लेफ्ट इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्ट सिनारियो फर द टिम किलर इन एक्सनको लागि भने जेनसले निकाल्दै हुनुहुन्छ मोलिसोली फालिन्छ एनएसकेको लागि र लुसिफर इज अल्सो गेटिङ डाउन बाई द टाइम सो दे गन डेफिनेटली ट्राई द लेभल बेस्ट टु मेक दिस गेम अन देयर अन साइड एन्ड दे आर गेटिङ रेडी अगाडिपट्टि कुद्नुपर्ने अवस्थाको विषय रहेको छ and they have or has to go for that very certain thing and यतापट्टि जेनोसले पहिलो किल निकाल्नुहुन्छ हाम्रो टिम्सको लागि सुरुडा टिम्समा गेम कन्भर्टेड जिएनको टिम पनि यतापट्टि लफडा गर्दै थियो उनीहरू एन्ड टिओजिएसको लागि लास्ट प्लेस स्ट्यान्डिङ भनेको थियो बट नो यो डिफ्रेन्ट टिम रहेछ उनीहरू फाइट लिएको डिफ्रेन्ट टिम थियो जुन फाइट उनीहरूले आफ्नो तर्फमा गरे पनि सके जिजीको लागि प्लेयर नक्ड आउट सो द्याट डेमन पनि अब सिकारी अब अन्तिम प्लेयर रहेका छन् किनभने लिडले त पहिले फिनिस थिए एज किलर इन एक्सनको एगेन्स्टमा चढिदिनु पर्ने अवस्था छ किलर इन एक्सनको त्यसको राम्रो सर्ट कनेक्सनमा आएको छ अन्तिम प्लेयर रहेका छन् सिकारी अब सिकारी आफै शिकार भन्छन् कि शिकार सक्सेसफुली गर्छन् द्याट विल बी द भेरी थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट बाई द टाइम एन्ड ओके अन्तिम प्लेयरलाई पनि सर्टेनली ट्याकल आउट अथवा टेकडाउन गरिने अथवा गरिसकिएको अवस्थाको विषय रहेको छ विच विल बी द भेरी थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट एन्ड दे डेफिनेटली आर ट्राइङ टु मेक दिस गेम अन देयर अन साइड उसको नाम के थियो and yeah यतापट्टि 4 फ्र्यागको साथमा बस्दै हुनुहुन्छ यो टिम्स and they are definitely trying their level best to make this game on their own side and by that certain situation to just talk about they are just trying their level best to make this game on their own side यतापट्टि 14 टिम्समा गेम परिवर्तन भएको छ 14 टिम्सको साथमा दे निड टु गेट स्ट्रेट फरवर्ड बाई नाउ टु बी हाउ विल दे मेक दिस गेम अन देयर अन साइड द्याट विल अल्सो बी द भेरी थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट एन्ड okay they have or has to go for it and by the time they need to go with that very certain legal approach by the time in this very present very matter and by now to be only 1 minute and 50 seconds left in this very present scenario and by now to be Only 1 minute and 46 seconds left in this very present situative concept for the team G, and players are getting down in this very present situation, and players are getting down in this very present situative manner to just look after it. And by the time overly 50 players, and by this very present scenario, IMFZ Suraj already got taken down by the time for the team TE. 3 players are standing, whereas 1 player has got exited by the time, which is really not great thing to just be over here. And by the time, this is the very stage 1, so we need to go further in another stage of the zone. And by now to be Haber has to go for that very short in shots 50 को ओभरअल प्लेयर 14 टिम्सको साथमा सेकेन्ड लास्ट गेम रहेको छ, and the Haber has to go for that very certain thing. And by the time okay, the very healing of action need to be done on time. By the time players are getting taken down in this very present scenario, DFT San already got knocked out, and your team ले 2 kill somehow manage out चाहिँ गरिसक्नु भएको छ. And by the time 40 को ओभरअल प्लेयर्स अनि 13 वटा टिम्सको साथमा बसिरहेका छन् टी को लागि भने प्लेयर्स आर अल्सो गेटिङ डाउन इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्ट सिचुएटिभ कन्सेप्ट टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर द्याट. एन्ड यतापट्टिबाट किलर इन एक्सनको लागि भनेर लास्टलाई पनि लास्ट गराइदिइसकेको जस्तो लागिरहेछ. किलर इन एक्सनको लागि भनेर लास्ट प्लेस स्ट्यान्डिङ विल बी आवर जेनोस, नन अदर द्यान हिम. उहाँ नै रहनुहुन्छ अहिले. एन्ड यतापट्टि नेटको साथमा रेडी रहनुहुन्छ म्याग्नस टोडा पनि अहिलेको अवस्थामा अलरेडी नै टेक डाउन रहँदै गरिरहनु भएको अवस्थाको विषय रह्यो. एन्ड दे हेज टु गो फर द्याट भेरी सर्टेन थिङ. टीको लागि भने यतापट्टि मुके पनि एक्जिट लिइसक्नु भएको छ, विच इज रियली नट फाइन थिङ. एन्ड आफ्नो पुरानो टेक्स्ट हेर्दाखेरि त्यस्तो लाग्यो भनेको यो माथिको यो के भन्छ, पैसा त कसम बे उमेर मोरिन भने सालको पात झैँ हो जेमा हात हाल्छु केही त उपलब्धि हुन्छ लकी एएफ. यो हेर्दाखेरि मलाई पछि क्रिन्ज लाग्यो. हाउ क्रिन्ज आइ एम सच अ सिट. And by now to be only 36 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the very healing of process has already been started for the team killer in action. They have to get engaged in that very fight. उनीहरू तम्तेर अवस्थामा बसिरहेका छन्. And by the time they have already managed out 5 frag. And okay, we need to go for the very end of the stage of the very zone. I know म फ्लोमा जे पनि भन्छु. अनि के सपना मलाई थियो क्या तर्सेर उठेर अनि टेक्स्ट गर्न आयो त. Okay, only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present scenario, and this is the very stage 2, so we need to go for the end of the stage of the zone. And okay, overly 3 players are available, whereas one of the player already got knocked and finished by the time, so it is not that very fine. And why now to be for the team TWD, Ghost already got knocked out. DODS for the team, 3 of the player already got exited by the time. And I have procrastination skills, and there are overly 31 players and 10 teams by the time. And only 50 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team. 3 players are available, whereas they have already managed out 4 frag for their team, which is really a plus point for them to just talk about it. And 138 seconds left in this very present situation. and only 10 seconds left in this very present situation, and by the time they have already managed out 7 frag for their very team to just look after it, and by now to be we have over 26 players and 7 teams by now to be. And by now to be we have over 26 players and 7 teams in this very present situation, and म एकैछिनमा स्टोरी भन्छु होइन, म यो गेम भ्याउँछु 7वटा टिम्स बाँकी छ, 7वटा टिम्सलाई मारेर आइहाल्यो. वेट and by now to be only 1 minute and 46 seconds left in this very present scenario. Only 1 minute and 40 seconds are there. Only okay, this is the very start, and okay, only 25 seconds and some, okay, 25 minutes need to be go with that certain thing for this very scenario. Tinta player available रहनुहुन्छ, एउटा player already got knocked and finished by the time. And only 1 minute and 4 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team Villa. They have already managed out 7 frag by now to be, and by now to be the Haber has to go for that thing. And then after that only 13 seconds left in this very present scenario for this very TOGS. They have already managed our 4 frag 24 को ओभरअल प्लेयर्स को साथमा, and they are going with that very short and shots. अहिले म स्टोरी सुनाउँछु हैन कसरी तिमीलाई भेटेको, अनि then after that तिमीले त्यो जमानाको कुरा भन. And only 24 players are over here. Players are getting down in this very certain scenario. 3 players available रहेका छन्, but they have already managed out 6 frag for their team. And only 23 प्लेयर जीवित रहनुहुन्छ. अब जीवित रहेको चाहिँ एभ्री टिमले एक पोइन्ट एज अ प्लेसमेन्ट पाउनेवाला छ, एज जस्ट बाई नाउ एक्जिट भएको टिमले पनि. and by now to be they are still holding up in this very present situation to just talk about it. And only 1 minute and 35 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team DFT. Only 3 men standing. They have already managed 2 frag. Rosario को तर्फबाट अनि PFS को तर्फबाट यसरी all together मा 2 frag उनीहरुले निकालिरहेको छ, which is a really great fact to just talk about that certain thing. 22 को ओभरअल प्लेयर्स को साथमा they need to get moving. And I'll go certain scenario ma. The Haber has to go for that certain thing, but haven't gone by now. But they are trying to make this game in their own side, and I'm also hoping for the level best by the time for the team. Players are getting down in this very presence is very thing to just look after it, and they are here by the time. And for the team TUGS, player are also getting down, which is Oman, and Oman also got knocked out in this very present scenario. And they are here by now, and they have already managed out 4 frag, which is a very true thing. And then after that, only 15 seconds left in this represent scenario for the team Villa. 3 players are over here. They have already managed out 8 frag for their team, which is also a very plus point to just talk about that certain thing, to just look after it. And I am certainly hoping for their level best. Players are getting down by now to be not just knock. That will be a very pretty finish as well by the time. And for the team TOGS, they have already managed out 4 frag for their team, and only 18 players and 6 teams are available in this very present scenario for the team Yafe as well. Only 3 players standing, since they have managed out 6 frag for their team, which is also a very fine thing to just talk about it. And they're still holding up in this very present situative concept or context. And yeah, overall 17 player and 6 teams are over here. They need to go with that very vehicle approach, so that was the thing. Last 6 teams are over here. For the team IMGF already got knocked out, so he's standing at over here since one of the player already got finished as well. And for this very teams, people are facing some level of difficulties. And by now to be, we have overly 13 players and 5 teams by the time. Only 16 seconds left in this very present scenario. This is the very stage 6. And by now to be, we have overly 5 teams and 12 players. And by the time they are here by the time. And by the very present situated concept to just look after it. And only 5 teams are over here. And by the team, we have only 3 teams available by the time, and we are at that very top 3 by now to be, and they are still trying their level best to make this game on their very present situative concept to just look after it. And only 25 seconds left in this very present scenario. How will they go for it? That will be the very thing to just look after that certain thing. And for the very team, only 2 minutes standing. One of the player already got knocked in finished by now to be, and trying to go for that very thing to just look after it. And they are here by now to be, and they need to go with that very certain flow. They have already managed out 9 frag. Last 2 teams, which will be that lucky enough team to grab out the second in of the very second last game. That will also be the very thing to just talk about it. And they are here, and just by now they are getting ready with that very certain need. Habit has to go for it, but players are also getting taken down by this very present situative thing. And last player has already got knocked and finished in this very present scenario. And okay, Billa has managed out And yeah guys, यो हाम्रो certainly रहेको थियो second last game. Soon already सकिसकेको छ. So thank you so much for watching till the very end. And yeah, top fragger will be out none other than I am Zepho. They have managed out over a 7 frag. Okay guys, I will meet you at the very last game. Till then, bye bye, take care. Okay, guys, then after that we are at on this very last game. So welcome back again. हामी यतापट्टि फेरि पनि ब्याक भइसक्यो आजमा अन्तिम गेमको लिएर यतापट्टि फेरि द टिम जिएनको लागि विनर प्लेयर्स आर गेटिङ डाउन इन दिस भेरी कन्सेप्ट प्लेयर्स नक आउट रहेको अवस्थाले गर्दा चाहिँ काइन्ड अफ हार्ड टु मेक इट आउट वाला जब मन लाग्यो भनेर सोचिरहेको छु त्यही पनि नेभर माइन्ड ठिकै छ यतापट्टि रिकभर फेसिङ टु बी डाउन अन टाइम अनि माथि चढ्ने किराक्रमा लाग्ला यतापट्टि सुशान्त के हो खोरा शशाङ्क होरा रहेछ उहाँको नाम शशाङ्क होरा रहनुहुन्छ आफ्नो टिमको लागि जिएनको लागि भनेर दुईवटा प्लेयर मात्रै एभाइलेबल किनभने एउटा प्लेयर नकटेन पनि छ अनि अर्को प्लेयर नकड आउटवाला अवस्थामा रहनुहुनेवाला छ जुन रहनुहुन्छ टेन्स है त बट उहाँलाई रिभाइबल दिनलाई यतापट्टिबाट कोसिस चालु भइरहेको रहेछ विच इज अ रियली अ भेरी फाइन थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट एन्ड दे निड टु गेट रेडी बाई द टाइम एन्ड यतापट्टि छुरा प्रहार गरिदिन्छ कि सोचिरहेको छु स्वाम्पा फर द टिम यतापट्टि डाफा चाहिँ नकटन फिनिस हुँदै हुनुहुन्छ सो तिनवटा प्लेयरको साथमा नै अगाडि बढ्नु पर्ने अवस्थाको विषय चालु रहन जाला आई डु बिलिभ द्याट इन दिस भेरी सर्टेन कन्सेप्ट फर द टिम टकासी प्लेयर्स आर अल्सो गेटिङ डाउन इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्सिभ म्यानर टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट एन्ड they are getting moved by now to be only 70 players and 19 teams are available by the time so they are getting straight forward by now to be and 1 minute and 40 second को मात्रै समय अन्तराल बाँकी रहिरहेको छ which is a really a very fine thing to just talk about that certainly this very representative concept only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present scenario to just talk about RSX Murthis are over here and they are getting moved by now to be and I am hoping for their level base in this very present situative game to just talk about and with that very 4 men के साथमा हिँडेका छन् so that confidence पनि अलि बेसी नै होला उनीहरूको लागि I hope that so that will be the very fine thing to just look after it and by the time players are getting knocked out for the team and for the team Yafe one standing are over there by the time and they are still trying their level best to manage this game on their own side that will be the very thing to just look after it and for now to be last one standing are over here and last player will be our Chris 99 FA and this was the very need but could it get connected but by now it has only get connected for this very team last player standing will be this player which was our Chris and Chris need to go with that very thing and Abra has to just go for that very certain players are getting taken down in this very present concept so it is not that much fine thing to just look after it and the Haber has to go for that very certain thing and they are getting straightforward by now to be and they are trying to make this game in their own side which is a really fine thing and they are getting moved and माथि चढी जानुपर्ने कुरा रहेको छ उहाँले 4 मिनेट एन्ड 13 सेकेन्डको टाइम पिरियड छ रोडा टिम्सको साथमा नै हामी गेट टु मुभ इन गर्दै जाने अवस्थाको विषय रहन चाहन्छु विशेष रियली अ भेरी फाइन थिङ एन्ड प्लेयर यतापट्टिबाट नक मात्रै होइन फिनिसै भइसकेको अवस्थाको विषय रहेको छ विच इज नट द्याट काइन्ड अर फाइन थिङ फर दिस भेरी सर्टेन टिम्स प्लेयरहरू एक्जिट लिन्छन् विथ द्याट भेरी 6वटा टिम्समा हाम्रो अब गेम 6वटा टिम्स भन्दा पनि 6 किल्सको साथमा एनएसकेको टिम आइसकेको छ ब्याक एन्ड 4जना प्लेयर जीवित रहेका छन् अर्को प्लस पोइन्ट भनेको चाहिँ अनि आइको टिम यतापट्टि उनीहरू यासना पुरोनामा लडाइँ झगडाको लागि लाग्दैछन् बट प्लेयर चाहिँ एक्जिट लिएका छन् एउटा प्लेयर जुन रहेका छन् हामीज बाँकी प्लेयरहरू जीवितै छन् के अरे बट हेरौँ कस्तो हुँदो रहेछ ओके 3v4 को फाइट रहन जान्छ टिएफएस वाइसाले निकालेर त्यो एउटा नक टेन फिनिस पनि बाई द टाइम which was not that great that goes the very need and यतापट्टि आई सिक्रेट नामक प्लेयर for the team IE knocked out रहनुहुन्छ and W I secret for the team IE this goes with shots okay प्लेयरलाई नक पारेका थिए बट ओके दुईटा प्लेयरलाई फिनिस गरिदिए अन्तिम प्लेयर स्टार्टिङ यतापट्टि रहेछ किनभने एउटा प्लेयरलाई चाहिँ अल स्टेजमा निकालेका थिए नि त एज अलरेडी टक अबाउट द्याट सर्टेन फ्याक्ट एन्ड अहिलेको लागि उनीहरू पनि मुभ इन गर्नुपर्छ विथ द्याट भेरी भेहिकल एप्रोच पनि उनीहरू गेट टु मुभ इन गर्छन् भने चाहिँ द्याट विल बी अ भेरी फाइन थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट एन्ड आई एम जस्ट होपिङ फर देयर लेभल बेस्ट एन्ड 56 को ओभरअल प्लेयर बाँकी रहेका छन् 56 को ओभरअल प्लेयर्स विथ द्याट भेरी 15वटा टिम्स दे आर गेटिङ मुभड इन एन्ड बाई द टाइम only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this very present situative concept to just look after it, and that will be one of the very fine thing to just talk about by now. And बाती चढी जाने विषय वस्तुमा काइन्डली यतापट्टिबाट आधारित हुन्छन् कि भनेर पनि सोचिरहेको छु. सो लेट्स सी, लेट एक्सपेक्ट अ भेरी फाइन गेम फर देम टु बी, and that will be the only thing to just look after that in this very present scenario. Only 2 minutes and 14 seconds and something like that left in this very present situative thing to just look after it, and they are moving by the time they need to get straightforward. Only 1 minute and 57 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the Haber has to go for the very fight but haven't gone by now. And this goes the very car 98 shots but connect out by China, and only 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this very present scenario. Only 15 teams are over here with that very 56 player just by now, or for the very far now to be situation to just talk about it. And that was a really fine thing or factor to just talk about. Players are getting knocked and finished को लागि भनेर पहिलो प्लेयर knocked and finished रहनुहुन्छ, क्याप्टेन रहनुहुन्छ उहाँ, not captain but Kopio and something like that try गरेछ. Correct me if I'm wrong, and they has to go for that very vehicle approach with that very vehicle approach but haven't gone for it. बट बिस्तारै अगाडि बढ्नको निम्ति भनेर उनीहरूको काम भने चाहिँ या क्यारी अन अथवा क्यारी आउट हुँदै त छ, विच इज अ really great thing to just talk about it. How will they go for that very certain thing? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And in this very present scenario, with only 53 seconds left in this very present scenario, TOGS को लागि honor on इसका, then after that Amon र Fragger चारवटा player रह्यो certain team को निम्ति, which is a really great thing to just look after it. And how will they go by now? त्यो पनि एउटा हुनेवाला छ अवस्था check it out about. And यतापट्टिबाट फाइन सर्ट्सहरू पनि गइरहेको छ, and they are trying to make this game on their own side but haven't gone by now, and they are still trying their level best to make this game in their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it. And this goes to the shot. Some of the fine shots are going against them, which was not that great in this situative manner to just by now. And this goes the very certain shots against the very player. So kind and unfine thing is happening over there at the very time. And in this very present situative era, only 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in this very present situation, and they need to have or has to go for that very short, and they are trying to get engaged in the very fight. And for this very present scenario, we have 15 teams and 50 players by now to be, since this game has been started with that with 19 teams. Four of the teams already got exited. चारवटा टिम्सले अलरेडी यतापट्टिबाट बिदाबारी लिएर गइसकेका छन्. सो त्यस्तो बित्रै राम्रो कुरा त बनेन. They are getting ready by now to be, and they are still trying their level best to make this game on their own side. अहिलेको लागि नेटको सुरुमा भनेर पनि they are also getting ready. Haber has to go for the very shots but haven't gone far now. Like Genos knocked out, right? That will be the very pretty finish as well. राम्रो finish थियो. And अहिलेको कन्टेक्स्टमा यतापट्टि के कुल पारामा बस्दैछन्. Haber has to go for the very fights but haven't gone by now. And उनीहरू पनि आफ्नो ट्राई हार्ड गर्दै अगाडि बढ्ने क्रियाकलापको अवस्थामा लाग्छन् भनेर चाहिँ सोचिरहेको छु. And and राम्रै सर्ट्सहरू गइरह्यो. आएको लागि जे पनि नक्ट एन्ड फिनिस भइसकेका छन्. कलको लागि भनेर ओभरअली फुन स्ट्यान्डिङ एट ओभर हियर by the time, and they are getting moved by now to be good situation ma. And they are getting straightforward by now to be एउटा राम्रो लेभल अफ गेम के प्रदर्शनीको निम्ति भनेर पनि उनीहरू ट्राई हार्ड गर्दै त छन्. त्यसको साथमा मजाले अगाडि कुदिरहेको अवस्थाको विषय वस्तुमा पनि हामी काइन्डली चर्चा गरिरहेका थियौँ. And by now to be, they are getting straightforward by now to be. And and by now to be only 37 seconds left in this very present situative concept to just look after that thing. And by the time only 27 seconds left in this very present situative era to just talk about, only 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this very present scenario, so they need to get up by the time, but haven't gone by now, but they will definitely go for that. That will be the very thing to just look after it. And they are here by now. And for now to be, we have 13 teams and 43 players by the time. For the team Magnus, players are also getting down in this very present situative era to just talk about it. Players are getting knocked out, and last man standing will be our player so called Virus, and he also got exited by now to be, which was not that very fine thing, and that was a very bad thing to just look after that situation. And the hammer has to go by now. The healing up action for the spirit team has already been started for the very team so called IME, and also called as the team non-tag, since they haven't got that very proper tag, so we will able to call it is by the name. And by now to be, they have already managed our 7 frag for them to be, which is a really great thing to just talk about. Is a really fine thing to just look after it as well. And they are getting straightforward by the time, and teams are trying their level best to make this game on their own side. That will be the very fine thing to just look after it. And how will they go for that very present situative manner to just talk about, that will also be the very thing to just look after it. And how will they go for it, that will also be the very thing to just look after it by the time. And they are getting straightforward with that very vehicle approach. Overall 38 players and 18 teams are over here by the time. Will also be the very thing to just look after it. For the team Villa, players are also getting taken down in this very present situative era, and they are trying their level best to make this game on their own side. And by the time, Villa Porsche already got knocked out for the team killer in action. 3 of the players are over here by the time, which is a really great factor to just talk about it. And they are just trying their level best to make this game on their own side. For the team DOT, as players are getting exited, and NSK को लागि भनेर आर्ट फ्रैग अलरेडी आइसकेको छ। DOTS को लागि भनेर अन्तिम स्ट्यान्डिङ 3 प्लेयर अलरेडी नक्ड एन्ड फिनिस भएका थिए, अनि अन्तिम प्लेयर पनि सर्टेनली यहाँबाट एक्सिट लिन्छन्। सो एउटा अनफाइन कुरा उनीहरूको लागि बन्दी गएको छ। सो नट अ फाइन थिङ टु जस्ट टक अबाउट द्याट सर्टेन थिङ। एन्ड यतापट्टिबाट वानले रहेको छ 1 मिनट एन्ड 50 सेकेन्ड एन्ड समथिङ लाइक द्याटको समय अन्तराल बाँकी रहेको कन्सेप्ट। सो दे हैज टु गो फर द्याट भेरी सर्टेन थिङ, बट गइसकेका छैनन् जानलाई भनेर कोसिस भने जारी रहँदैछ। एज आई गट टु नो अबाउट द्याट in this very present situative concept. For the team Collax, players are getting down, and okay, by now to be TOGS honor already get down. Only 3 minutes standing are over here, and they are getting straightforward by now to be, and they will definitely try to get this second era done. Only now teams बाँकी, अब हजुर teams actually each and every teams which got inside that very top 8 will able to grab out 1 point as a placement. एक point चाहिँ placement रूपमा पाउँछन्। TFS को लागि भनेर डेभिल रहेका छन् पिकाचुको साथमा, एन्ड अरूको लागि रिकभरल फेज पनि नेड टु बी डन भनेर दिँदै हुनुहुन्छ। रिभाइभल दिएर अगाडि बढ्ने क्रममा लाग्नु हुनेवाला छ, विच इज रियली फाइन। स्लट नम्बर 10 भन्दै हुनुहुँदैछ, सो वी निड टु गो टु देम एज वेल। स्लट नम्बर 12 भयो, कलको टिमलाई जस्ट पाएन, यतापट्टि टिएफएसले म्यानेजरको एक्जिट गराइदिनु हुनेवाला छ। सो लेट्स गो टु स्लट नम्बर 10, बट स्याडली दे हेभ अलरेडी बिन एक्जिटेड। अन्तिम 8वटा टिम्स भने चाहिँ अब जीवित रहेको इच एन्ड एभ्री टिम्स विल एबल टु ग्राब आउट 1 point एज अ प्लेसमेन्ट। अलरेडी नक्ड एन्ड फिनिस भएका थिए, एन्ड अब 140 सेकेन्डको मात्रै समय अन्तराल बाँकी रहेको छ। 135 सेकेन्ड लेफ्ट इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्ट सिनारियो। सो दे हैज टु गो विथ द्याट भेरी सर्टन फ्लो हाउ दे विल म्यानेज आउट द भेरी गेम। द्याट विल बी द भेरी थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट। एन्ड 121 सेकेन्ड लेफ्ट इन दिस भेरी प्रेजेन्ट सिनारियो। They need to move with that very vehicle approach. I am hoping for their level best how they're gonna manage out that certain game. And and by now to be for the team PF, as players are getting down, only 3 players are standing in this very presence very era, and they're trying to make this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it, and they need to get straightforward by now to be how will they manage out this very game, and that will be the very thing to just look after it, and haven't gone by now, and they have to go with that very okay overally heal up करेगा सन 7 items में I'm confident, so they need to go with that very vehicle approach, vehicle को ability रॉय गरेछ, so they has to go for it, and अब गाडीको तारा गाडी पनि क्रममा चालु हुँदै जानु हुनेवाला छ, and त्यसको साथमा they are getting moved out from here, माथि चढी जाने अवस्थाको विषय पनि जस्ट पनि क्यारियर हुँदै त छ नि, some of the fine shots against मा डेलिभर भइरहेको थियो, but somehow they are safe, and त्यसको साथमा गाडीको दिन क्र्याक अप चलिरहेको छ for the team LB players are getting knocked and finished. NSK को teams are going straight forward, double digit kill पनि उनीले already toss out गरे, which is 10 in number by the time, which is really a fine fact to just talk about it, and by the time players are getting knocked and finished, only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present scenario to just talk about it, and then after that only तापट्टि रहेको छ हामीसँग 1 minute and 25 seconds left over, so we need to go with that very certain thing, and I'm definitely hoping for their fine game, that will be the only expectation by now, and they have already managed 10 frag, as I already mentioned out that certain fact. In this very present scenario we have overall 20 players and 6 teams in this very present scenario, and okay, players are getting down in this very present era for the team killer in action. Last one standing are over here for the team killer in action. Use already got knocked out as like his teammate, as well last standing will be a Kinzo. The rest two player already got knocked and finished. Last already got knocked out by the time, which is really not good factor to just talk about. Last place standing already got exited by now to be, it is not that much great thing, and only 30 seconds left in this very present scenario to just talk about that certain thing. In this very present era to just talk about, only 5 teams are over here, and for the team DFT 2 player already got knocked out. Last place standing will be our none other than yes Rosairo by the time, and they are managing out in this very present scenario. We have overall 14 teams and 14 players and 5 teams, but it has been converted into 13 player and 14 by now to be, since last place standing for our team has already got exited at on #5, so we are at on the very top 4 for the team. This non-tag they have overall 10 frag and 4 minutes standing for the team NSK as well, that was the same thing, and for the very third team so called TFS they have 2 minutes standing, and for the very fourth team for the team 2 yes there is also a 2 squad and 2 duo are fighting for the very chicken dinner. Which teams will be able to grab out that chicken dinner, that will be the very only thing to just look after it. And by the time they need to get up, and the habit has to go with that very shots, but haven't gone by now, and I think they will definitely try their level best to make this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it. For the team TFS, players are getting down. There is availability of the very only 3 teams by the time, and for this very non-tag team they have already managed out 10 frag, and the habit has to go for the very shots but haven't gone for it. 6x has been converted into 3x and trying to go for the very shots but haven't gone for it. Score the very shots at the very right time, but he couldn't able to manage out that one knock. Not as much convert out garaincha top fragger for the team NSK जुन रहेको छ Sostrara, and one of the player, not just one but 2 women standing for this very teams has already got knocked out, so there is ability of the very 2 women, so then to go with that very short inflow but haven't gone by now, and by the time they रहने वाला छ कुरा, and they are getting moved by now to be को स्थितिमा भन्दा पनि, and they are trying to make this game on their own side, and आइसकेका छन् उनीहरू सर्टेन यो एरियामा and Haber has to go for the very fight and त्यसको लागि तयार रहे and अलिको लागि खुल्ला परेर बस्दैछन्. The Haber has to go for the very fight but haven't gone by now, and that will be the very only thing to just talk about it. And yeah, खुल्ला परेर बस्दै हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरू पनि, and उहाँहरू are trying to make this game on their own side. That will be the very only thing to just talk about. And with that very vehicle approach पनि यतापट्टिबाट गेट टु मुभ इन गर्नु पर्ने अवस्थाको विषय जस्तो मानिरहेको छु. हाउ विल दे गो फर द्याट, द्याट विल बी द भेरी थिङ टु जस्ट लुक आफ्टर इट. एन्ड आई एम फर्स्ट टु बी होपिङ फर द लेभल बेस्ट. एन्ड गाडीको केपेबिलिटी रहेको रहेछ, गाडी समात्र अगाडि बढ्छन् कि भनेर पनि सोचिरहेको छु. एन्ड सो या पुरा त्यही हुनेवाला छ. एन्ड स्मोक फाल्ने किरा क्लब चालिरहेको छ, फालिँदै पनि त छ. बेस्ट अफ 3 तीनवटा टिम्स मध्ये कुन चाहिँ टिमले निकाल्दो रहेछ त भेरी सर्टेन गेम. द्याट विल बी द भेरी ओन्ली थिङ टु जस्ट टक अबाउट द्याट certainly. So that will be the very only thing to just look after it. And teams need to go with that very vehicle approach by the time vehicle capability रहेको, so that पुरा उठाउनु पर्यो फाइदा त्यसको चाहिँ. And the Hammer has to go with that very certain thing. And this goes the very fine level of shots against them, but takedown Gorno has been a hard job to make it out through. But yeah, they are trying to make this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it. And I'm definitely hoping for their level best in this very present situative thing to just talk about it. And they are just getting ready by now to be, but haven't gone for it so far. And Haver has to go for the very fights but haven't gone by now. And the healing of action has already been started for this very certain teams, and they are trying their level best to manage this game on their own side. And Haver has to go for the very thing but haven't gone for it against Pines and Need. त्यसले पनि यतापट्टि काइन्डली ट्याकल आउट अथवा टेकडाउन गर्नलाई भनेर कोसिस गरिरहेको थियो. And by the time they need to get moved in, अब बेस्ट अफ 2 गेम आइसकेको छ. And yeah guys, अहिलेको लागि 3v2 को फाइट यो जेसको लागि 2 मिनट स्टार्टिङ भने एनिमी टिम जुन रहेको छ एनएसके को लागि 3 मिनट स्टार्टिङ. एनएसके ले त डबल डिजिट किल पोइन्ट्स नै 28 या नट 28 बट 21 टिम्स निकाली सकिसकेको अवस्थाको विषय रहेको रहेछ. सो इट इज अ रियली ग्रेट थिङ टु जस्ट टक अबाउट इट. And I am just looking forward for their fine game. That will be the very fine thing to just look after it. This will be very fine search, but it is hard to branch out the ready ball. And okay, last player has already got tackled out by the lobby, and chicken dinner will go for the team. So Kalia Skies round again. Okay guys, yeah, RSK will be the very last team to grab out the very chicken dinner. It was a really fine thing, and thank you so much for watching till the very end guys. Okay, top fragger was our none other than our NSK Sahara, and so म बिदाबारी हुनुपर्छ सिन्स म एकदम थाकी पनि सके प्लस मा निन्द्रा पनि आइसक्यो प्लस धेरै कुरा भइसक्यो गाइज. बाई बाई, टाटा, सी यू. And I am just looking forward for